Hey, vinyl community, my people. How's it going? Jason here. Vinyl Finds, whatever. Vinyl Finds 2021, October, almost Halloween. Drinking a bubbly. It's been a while. Just want my stack is huge. It's bulging. I have to, I've been trying to listen to it all, but I just can't. I actually just had bought some records this weekend as well. Went to the DJ Shadow 5th annual storage sale in LA, Rapcats. It was intense. I don't know. I guess that maybe I'm just an amateur, or I don't know, just so many people in one place. I got there like 5 minutes after it opened. I caught like the tail end of the line. I was like the last one in, and the wall was just stripped bare. The bins were just full of people. Like I had to sit there and wait for like 5 minutes, I don't know, whatever, a few minutes to actually be able to, and I just didn't know what. Took me 10-15 minutes to get my bearings, and I would say half the records were already gone. People were in the back just going through them. I don't know, it was crazy. A lot of cool stuff that I had no idea what it was. It looked really intriguing, but I got a couple gems, so I'm going to start with those. Still fun to go. It's a bit of like proper dig where I've actually been to like a store or a pop-up in a long time, so pretty crazy. I went on Sunday. I thought it'd be a little more mellow on Sunday, but it was still packed. But this was, so I'm gonna show this one first because I kind of want to play it. This is one I got from the sale. This is Between Durana. I didn't know what this was, but I think it looks super familiar. I think somebody showed it. It must have been like Chris or Alex or maybe James Buttery. I'm not sure. It's kind of like German. I don't like it's not ambient. It is sort of like there's like chanting, but it's kind of like got a. It says kraut experimental, but I don't know. I didn't hear too much kraut in there. I'm not sure. I'm not like a huge. I don't know a lot about kraut either, so maybe it is. But yeah, I want to throw this on. This is the second pressing, and I actually haven't spun it yet. That's kind of what I want to throw it on. I did listen to it at my son's soccer practice today, so yeah. So I'm gonna throw that on. It sounded pretty cool. I dug it, but yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah, it's cool. It's a little bit out of my wheelhouse too. So whoever showed it, thank you. Here's another one I got from the sale. This is I didn't know this. I mean, I think I had listened to it once. This is Charles Lloyd, Moon Man. And I didn't spin this one yet either, but I did listen. This is the second press on Cap, which was released the same year as the first pressing. This is crazy. I have one Charles Lloyd, and it's the one with like all the jungle, like, you know, it's like cartoons, looks like a jungle theme. I don't remember the name of it, but it's kind of like Eastern jazz, and this one's cool. But this one is like, it's kind of like psych rock, not rock, but someone kind of explained it. I'm trying to see who's on here. Does not have the players on here. I don't know. But someone explained it as it's like kind of like Velvet Underground meets like late period John Coltrane on Discogs, which I mean I get the Velvet Underground. I would say it kind of starts more of like a loose kind of that kind of, I don't know, it wasn't like Velvet Underground-y rock, kind of like Zappa a little bit. And towards the end, it's a little bit more jazzy, but I really dug it. It's cool. It's different for sure. But yeah, it's cool. It's got some awesome moments going on in there. That was the one I got from the DJ Shadow. This is one I bought. This is I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep it or not. Bobby Hutcherson components. I was more of like, I just saw some. I just wanted to say I pulled something off the wall at the DJ Shadow show, and this was like pretty much This was actually behind DJ Shadow, and I didn't even realize he was there. It was him. I didn't know he'd be there, but he was playing records, which is pretty cool. He's playing some crazy stuff. I wish I would have got to talk to him a little bit more, but I'm kind of not very good at talking to people who are, I would say he's famous, but I don't know, I just get like nervous or whatever. But so yeah, he kind of pulled it down for me, and we talked about it for a minute or so. But this is the original original stereo, Blue Note. This thing's like super clean, like near mint. And I didn't spin this yet either. I did listen to it online, and I don't know. It's kind of like I'm not like a straight ahead jazz person, and the players on it like Freddie Hubbard, James Spaulding, Herbie Hancock, Ron Carter, Joe Chambers. One of the reasons I kind of bought it. There's one Bobby Hutcherson record I do really like. I think it's only like an Afro. But yeah, and it was a pretty good price. I mean, it was definitely 3 figures. But I listened to it online. I don't know. I wasn't like, it didn't blow me away. But actually, I gotta spin it because it seemed like the first half was just kind of like just normal. I guess what do you call it, like bop or whatever. But the second half was a little bit. The second seemed like what it must have been. The second side was a little bit more avant-garde, I guess, a little bit. It's not crazy, but it's just a little bit like more spacey, not as like bop, swinging bop or whatever. So I don't know, who knows, maybe I'll keep it. This is Moacir Santos Carnival, The Spirits. This is a later Blue Note. I think it's the original press, but a later record. Moacir Santos, obviously, Coisas is like one of the most famous Brazilian jazz records ever. This is obviously later U.S. released album. I think this might be his 4th or 5th. His actually second album, I think it's his second, is on my one list. This wasn't on my one list. I did spin this while I was giving my daughter a bath, so but it was hard to really listen, but it seemed kind of cool. There's some singing, kind of it's got a little bit of like samba, but a little bit of like kind of groovy funk, jazzy funk stuff going on too. So I don't know, I'll give another spin, but I mean, I had to pull a Brazilian record. There was no real crazy Brazilian records there. Maybe there was, but they were all gone. So this one I was really stoked on. This is Eddie Henderson Realization. I've been wanting this one for a long time. This is a white label on Capricorn. The price was smoking on this, probably because I almost bought it online a few times over the last few years. Maybe because of a lot of the records, they were like pretty clean at the pop up. There was nothing beat up, and there was no garbage for sure. Everything, even the stuff that was cheap, I didn't know what the hell it was. So, and then there is like a couple pops on side 2, and there's a warp that doesn't affect play, but otherwise the record is pretty clean. For like, I think it was $10. I'm so stoked on this. And this is kind of like fusion jazz. This is basically like Herbie Hancock, Mwandishi. I think it's pretty much the same lineup. So it's kind of like maybe like the 4th in the trilogy. It's not really a Herbie Hancock, but this has got Eddie Henderson, obviously, Benny Maupin, Herbie Hancock. Let's see, Buster Williams, and Billy Hart, which I think are all kind of from the Herbie Hancock's band, the Mwandishi series. And then you got Lenny White and Pat Gleason as well on the synth, Moog. So yeah, this was probably say my favorite find, because it was like probably the only one there that I was like on my want list that I'm like seeking, and I found it for like super cheap. So I was really happy to get that one. I did spin this one. This was like the first one I spun. The reason I just cleaned them last night too, so I didn't really get a chance to. But I've been wanting to make this video, and I just kept putting it off because I got these as well. So that's that. Here's some stuff I got locally. This was Bo Diddley's A Twister, and this is the original black label on Checker. This one's pretty clean. I had to really clean this thing with like a wood glue. Really get in there. It sounds pretty good now, but this is a cool find. This is a $1 find. There was a girl selling her roommate's Marantz receiver and locally, and it was a really good price. And I literally I was like 20 minutes, and she just posted. I text her, oh, I'm interested, and it was gone already after like 20 minutes. But I asked her if she had any records. She's like, oh yeah, they're selling records too. So I went there, and I didn't know. I wasn't expecting much. I didn't know they were $1 each. And she said that the person who bought the receiver bought a couple records. So I'm like, oh great, it's like, it was wasting my time. And it was like in the same city, but man, it was like 20 minutes. It was like really far for in the same city, but. Yeah, there was a couple decent. They only had like probably 30 records, and I bought like 10. So this is cool. I mean, it's more like R&B than blues. But yeah, for $1. Another one I found for $1. Rufus Thomas, Walking the Dog, original on Stax. Kind of like R&B, like old kind of R&B. It's good. I mean. It's nothing I was like seeking out or anything, but for $1, I mean, those are pretty sweet finds. This is A Sunny Fortune Awakening on Horizon. This was actually, I saw James Buttery show this not too long ago, and he kind of mentioned it's kind of like a Strata East lineup and music, but for super cheap on this is A&M Horizon, I believe. Yeah, A&M label. And I sampled like one track, and I just bought it. It was like, I think I got it for like $10, maybe, yeah, around like $10 with shipping, and like a near mint copy. So it's good. It's good. It's like kind of like modal soul jazz kind of stuff. Super clean. I've only spun it once, but I liked it. Yeah, I definitely need to dig into it more. And I was actually listening the other day to the second one he did on A&M. It was also pretty good, so I'll probably pull the trigger on that one as well. Yeah, I forget who's on here. I think there's some players maybe like Charles Sullivan. Maybe he's on here. Let's see. Oh yeah, you got Charles Sullivan on trumpet, Kenny Barron piano, John Hicks piano, Wayne Dockery bass, Reggie Workman bass, Billy Hart drums, Chip Lyles drums, and Angel Alenji percussion. So a couple like players you see on Strata East. There's that John Hicks on Strata East I really want. It's like from like 80. It's really good. But yeah, I digress. Another one. I wish I put these in better order, but this is the Casitas Máquinas. This is the original on Som Libre. Brazilian record from mid-70s. It's kind of like a blues rock. It's got a little bit of like kind of like proggy organ stuff going on. It's pretty good. Out of the three, I think they had three. This is probably my favorite. But yeah, actually, I sent a record to a guy on Instagram. I just thought he'd dig it from my favorite label, Gomer Green Guy. I always buy like multiple copies just because. I don't know, I love it, and sometimes I just give them out or trade them or whatever. So I sent him a copy, and he sent me this in return. So I guess super stoked on that. The original, super clean. It's a fun one. This is. I'll show this one first. Actually, this is William Senna, and this is the original on Carmo. It's a Brazilian. Brazilian label from the 80s. I believe I don't know if it's Egberto Gismonti, but it was it was a subsidiary of a bigger. Now I can't think of it. Damn it! Like when I listened, I mean, I was all into these a few weeks ago. Does it say on here? But here it kind of talks about this is yeah, it's got like a height. It's like a not even a sticker. This is still in the shrink because this was actually I bought this sealed. So, and it has like a hype a sticker. And it's not even a sticker, it's like a card, but it's in here, and it's in Portuguese and English. But this is cool. So Egberto Gismonti, I wasn't really familiar with this label, so this is a great find. I think there's about, if you count like live albums and I think there's a comp or two. There's about 18 releases. So, and a lot of them are really good, which I didn't know, and it's kind of like It's like it's a lot of jazz based stuff, especially William Senna is a guitar player, and this is kind of a lot of it's like solo. There's some like backup vocal stuff in here too, but there's not much other instrumentation going on. But he's a really, I mean, he's a really good guitar player, and I think he only second album out. I think he only put out 2. But I could see a lot of the releases. There were a lot of guitar players, which makes sense because as better just Monty. Actually, he's actually he's a phenomenal guitar player and a piano player. But yeah, God, I can't think of what subsidiary this is. I don't want to say it's ECM, but is it maybe ECM? Maybe it is subsidiary of ECM. I don't know. I should have done better research, I guess. But yeah, it was good discovery. Good to discover this label. There's a couple now I'm seeking, and the guy I bought it from, he had like maybe 10 of the releases, and I would say like 8 of the ones he has for sale are like sealed. So, and he just said he bought them back in the 80s, and it wasn't really a sought after label, so he just bought a bunch of them for cheap. And yeah, super stoked to get that. The reason I want to show that one first is because he sent me another one on Carmo. This is Andre Gerasati, entre duas palavras. It's like entre the 2 words, I guess. Yeah, and this is I'll show you the label. It's the same kind of label, the Carmo. But yeah, I think I was on vacation or something, and I bought that William Senna, and I hadn't heard from the seller, like, you know, shipping. I hit him up because I was on vacation, and I was just afraid that it would show up while I was out of town for like a week, and I just wanted to text my neighbor to go get the package. So I just hit him up like, oh, do you have shipping? And he hadn't shipped it yet, so he apologized, and he sent me an extra record, and I can't believe he sent this. It's like a pretty pricey record. And it's really cool. I think Andre Gerasati is a piano player, and I listened to this twice a few weeks ago. Now I can't really remember, but it starts off kind of like a solo piano, and like side 1 kind of builds, and then there's like a guitar player comes in. Maybe he's a guitar player. I can't remember. It starts off a solo piano, and it's very kind of like, I want to call it minimal, but there's not a lot of instrumentation going on, and it's very like sparse. It's not like groovy or anything. It's a really cool record. But the last track on side B, I think it's called Imagine. And it's a 15-minute piece. So side 1, I think, has like side 1's got. Well, it's 2, but there's like 1, and there's like a 10-minute, and there's like a suite, and then the second side has a 7-minute piece, and then a 15-minute piece at the end. Imagine, it's really awesome. I don't know how to explain it, but it's kind of the same thing. It kind of builds, and there's a lot of cool stuff going on. I highly recommend it. So yeah, I don't know. I'm probably gonna seek more out from the series, and I probably listened to like 4 or 5, at least the ones he had, and they're all really good. There's a couple actually that I've seen before. I didn't really know it was on that label, but those aren't the ones I like. There's a Luis Essa, and who's like a pretty famous jazz, and I think he was in Timbo Trio. So he has like a long history of in jazz in Brazil. But he had one from like '86, and there was only like 1 or 2 tracks on YouTube, and it was like very spacey. It sounded really cool, so I might buy that one. There's a couple other ones where it's like a lot. Luis S is a piano player, but there's another one that it's very like, it's kind of out there, like like weird percussion, and just very like sparse, and it's a really cool label. So I highly recommend checking it out. Digging that from the 80s too. So here's another one that I bought. This was from also another dollar record. The Supremes, Where Did Our Love Go? And I didn't have any Supremes, and I'm pretty sure this is the one that kind of has most of their hits. It does have a lot of hits on it. So for $1, I bought it. It's got some. Side 1 has tons of the famous songs like Baby Love. I can't even think of all the songs. I don't know. I don't remember the ones that were like super popular. Where Did Our Love Go? I don't know. When Did the Love Start Shining? I don't know, but it's a classic. Supremes, Diana Ross, right? I believe. I was never like into this kind of like soul, but It's cool. I mean, for $1 or whatever. It's a good buy. There's the original press. This is Sam Most, Flute Talk with Joe Farrell. And I went to, it's been a couple, I mean, obviously, I haven't done a video in a while, but I think I had bought, like, he was selling for $3 a record. So I probably bought like 15, maybe more, from this guy in San Clemente. It's not too far from my house. It was like this dude had thousands of records. He said he used to live in Denver, and like a radio station gave him all the records, and then another radio station found out that this guy was taking radio station records, and they gave him all his records. So he has like just a ton of promo stuff. So, and it wasn't very good records. I mean, I didn't know a lot of it. I was hoping to pull just some like crazy cool 80s gem out of it, you know, put on my like Alex or Chris hat and just pull out some obscure weirdness. But maybe I'm not good at it, or I just didn't really find much. But I did find this one, and it's pretty cool. It's not like super killer or anything. There is a couple. There's some really good moments on this. And I don't know, I'm kind of a sucker for flute. I don't know why, but yeah. But there's a couple really weird tracks on here, like kind of like, I don't want to say it like It's a Small World After All, but kind of like that. You know, it's just really like these. Like some of those Moog records that have kind of like child theme songs, kind of like that. I don't know what song it was, but yeah. And then, I also bought another Sam Most album, and it had like two or three really good tracks, but the rest wasn't that great. And this one's like pretty good, but it has like 2 or 3 really bad tracks. So I kind of wish that they had put the good tracks in the other one on here, and this would have been the killer album. But yeah, so I didn't really keep much from that, unfortunately. I probably lost. I mean, I only spent $50 for just some random records, but probably I didn't do very well on that one, so I don't think I'm gonna go back there. And the dude only had like 1,000 records, maybe like 1,000 records for sale, and it was all $3, and they were all kind of. And he's like, "Oh, I got the better stuff inside." So, but he wasn't willing to show that, so I don't know. It was kind of a funky thing. But anyways, this is Fela Kuti, Open, Close. This is probably one of my favorite Fela Kutis. For me, there's like 2 or 3 that I just would love to have. And I've had the original on my list forever, and I keep seeing the same one pop up, like a G plus G, for like $150, and that's all I've ever seen on Discogs for years. But this is a recent repress. I think it was a 2021. Kalakuta Sunrise, maybe? I don't know. Knitting Factory Records, I'm sorry. But yeah, this is classic. I didn't have any Fela Kuti, so I don't buy too many represses, but for a record like that, I mean, I'm never going to find the original for a price that I can afford, so. I love Tony Scott, and this is probably the last one I was on the fence on, and this is, I think it's just a self-titled Tony Scott. It's a promo copy on Verve. It's really cool, like really, I think it's from '69. Yeah, it's a really good record. It's kind of like, it's very like Eastern sounding. Like the first song is called Ode to Oud, I think. Yeah, Ode to Oud, which is a really, really cool song. And it has a lot of standards on here. It's got My Funny Valentine, Satin Doll, and I'm not a huge My Funny Valentine fan, but this is probably the best version I've heard. All the tracks by him are more like Eastern, and some of the ballads, some of the standards aren't so much, but they still have a little bit of that tinge, and Tony Scott's just so good. I don't know. I've been on the fence on this one I won't say on the fence. I just kind of was kind of sort of into it, but not enough to buy it for a few years. And I don't know why. I always loved the cover too, and I just saw it kind of pop up somewhere on eBay or something, so it sparked my interest again. So I saw, and it's a pretty cheap record. I think I paid less than $20, like $10, $12 for like a pretty clean promo copy. And the promo copies are like way cheaper than the regular copies, so go figure. This is I can't believe I have this, but this kind of went along with that Casa das Máquinas. I sent that guy a record. I wasn't really expecting. It was kind of a VCLT, just like, hey, I think you would dig this. And the guy posts insane records, like from Brazil, like records from Brazil that I wish that I don't even know how I'm ever gonna come across them, but and like Turkey and like Africa and Egypt, and I mean the guy's just insane. And he sent me this one too, and I couldn't believe it. And this record is like impossible to find, but the caveat is it was his third copy, so he insisted on sending it to me. But the cover is fake; it's not real. It's a like print, and they like pasted it over, I guess, kind of. So, but the record's real. So, yeah, this is Satwa, and actually this is a Lula Cortez and Leeson. I don't know Leeson's first name, or I guess I think that is his first name. But he just died actually from COVID, like within the last few days. So, but yeah, which is sort of a bummer. But yeah, this thing I just saw. There's a guy on Instagram called I think it's Clara Crocodilo. He just did a pretty cool video on this today. Yeah, it's like a 1 minute little video. And he's been telling me to buy Lula Cortez records for years. So, but he was saying that this is like one of the first independently pressed records in Brazil, and this is from '73, and it's kind of so I'm kind of like copying on all the information that he put out, but he kind of said that Leeson plays in a Western style and Lula plays in a Eastern style, so it's kind of like an acoustic psychedelic record, I guess. And I guess there was vocals and lyrics, but because of the military regime, it was censored. So the record is actually instrumental. So, which is I didn't know any of that till about 3 hours ago. So that's pretty timely, I guess. Lucky. But yeah, I can't believe I have this. I mean, I guess I don't. But the cover's fake, so it's kind of a bummer. But yeah, I mean, good copies of this they can go for like $1,000. So like, just to have the record, I guess I'll look for a really crappy copy with just the cover or whatever. I don't know. I'll try to complete the set. I'm gonna flip the record. So again, we're listening to Between Nirvana. And I think the original was on Vertigo. And actually this record, I saw it. Well, I was waiting for the jazz section. I think this was in the jazz section. The DJ Shadow, there wasn't that many records. There was obviously the bunch of stuff on the wall, which was like completely, there was only like 3 records left on the wall when I got in out of maybe that hold like 40. And then there was like small sections. There was like 1 bin for international, which is like the first thing I checked. There's like maybe 2 bins for jazz. So each bin maybe held 50 records. So there wasn't a lot, but all this stuff was. I mean, I had a lot of stuff I didn't know, but it was all good stuff or stuff I'd never seen. But I was waiting for the jazz section, and the guy pulled this out, and I was like, damn. I mean, I say damn. I didn't know what it was, but I'm like, oh, it looks super familiar. But yeah, these people were pulling out tons of records, and they were I saw like just like 5 guys in the back with just like giant stack of records, and they were like looking each one up. I think that they're just trying to see if they're getting a good price or something. I don't know, but they ended up, a lot of them got put back. So while I was there, people just kept putting records back. So I don't know, it always kind of annoyed me too. There's a guy that he was always at these like pop-ups on my house, and he always goes through. Me and him would dig through the dollar bins, and he always just goes like. Just starts pulling stuff out, and he has this giant stack, and he doesn't look at anything, and then he ends up putting like 3/4 of them back, but I'm already done looking, so I'm like, don't want to go through everything again. So I don't know, that kind of annoys me a little bit. I like to take my time, but at this thing, people were like breathing over my shoulder because I was like digging kind of slow, and like, oh, that's cool, like checking out. So it's a little bit stressful, and I felt rushed, and I bought a couple records I'm gonna sell because I didn't know what they were, and I don't know. They're kind of not my taste, but I'm gonna definitely keep this one. This is second press. I'm gonna check out their other stuff. I think they have one more before this on Vertigo as well, and that one sells for like in the hundreds. So the original of this I think is not that much, but yeah, Anyways, but it's really cool. It's kind of mellow, like ambient, like a little bit of like the Eastern sound, but there's some like chanting kind of stuff too going. I'm super stoked about this one. This is Leonard Cohen, Songs of Love and Hate. This is, I think, his 4th album, and now I have I have his first 4 albums. I only have 4, but yeah, this is another one I found at $1. This was like the most that girl was selling at $1 Records, so I was really excited about this one. Love Leonard Cohen. I was really proud of my son too. We were eating dinner, or he was eating dinner, and I was playing music, and because now he has to eat his dinner before he can watch TV. So I was playing this, and then he was eating his dinner. I was like, oh, I'm gonna go take a shower. I was like, and the first side just ended, and then I was like, yeah, what do you want me to play some music? He's like, yeah, play what you were playing. And I was like, oh, you don't listen to anything else? No, I like what you were playing. So I flipped side 2, and he was like super stoked. So I was pretty excited that my 6-year-old son was kind of digging Leonard Cohen, Songs of Love and Hate. I was yeah. So now I'm trying to. I probably haven't been too good at it. I play so much music that I've been trying to, like, when I put on a record, just show them the cover and like explain who it is, and which it's kind of foolish. I haven't been doing that. I guess sometimes I just need to take the time, and especially since we have, I have a lot of music that, like, my parents didn't really introduce me to that much music, so we play a lot of stuff here that's not really on my radio. So to get him well versed on music, because he loves dancing and stuff. Anyways, this is one I bought on eBay, Hampton Hawes, the original and Prestige, Universe, and I didn't know too much about Hampton Hawes, and I was browsing on eBay and just kind of popped up, and I sampled like a track or two, and I kind of dug it. So I bid on it, and yeah, I got it for pretty cheap, like I think with like shipping like $20. So I got a pretty good deal. I wouldn't have paid that much for it because I just didn't know it that well. This is kind of like soul jazz, but not like Jimmy McGriff or what's that guy's name? Jimmy Smith. Kind of soul jazz, but it's like kind of modal soul jazz. That's not too modal. It's kind of like soul jazz, but not so like cheesy. But not all of it. Some of it's kind of like soul jazz without the actual like groove. If that makes any sense. It's a good record. Yeah, I like it. I've only listened to it I think once as well, so I definitely need to throw it on again. I know a lot of people like Hampton Hawes, which is why I kind of I don't know much about him. So I definitely, the person I probably should dig into his catalog too. I'm not my jazz knowledge. I've just started liking jazz the last few years, so pretty limited, unfortunately. I got it's a lot to learn, which is why I like watching channels that show a lot of jazz. Anyways, this is Bo Hansen, and this is music inspired by Watership Down. This is actually another record I bought from that $3 guy not too far from here. This is on Sire, and I probably wouldn't have kept this. It's like Swedish. I think he's a Swedish or Swiss. I don't know. Swiss. Like keyboard player, and his records are kind of proggy. But it's pretty interesting. It's like very theatrical, like cinematic. But there's side 2 has just got these. The first 2 songs are like these like reggae, kind of like dub, not like hardcore Jamaican dub, but yeah, very like reggae driven tracks, and they're pretty cool. So I think they'd be fun to play like if I was spinning records at my friend's art show or something. So I decided to keep that. Pretty interesting record. Yeah, I don't got this. Is pretty much the last of it. I got Mars Volta. Is this Bedlam and Goliath? I can't remember. Yeah, the Bedlam and Goliath. I think this is their 4th album, Mars Volta. I got this one as well. I bought the first 4. This is Amputexture. So I got that, and this one is like probably my favorite Mars Volta. I think think I showed Delau's last time. So they sent them in order. This is Francis the Mute. Yeah, this is their second album. This thing is amazing. So I missed the box, which I probably explained before. And these are all pressed on. This is the Clouds Hill. So these are the 2021 releases. And I tried to buy the box. I pre-ordered it, but my pre-order got canceled. But the box was like, I think I was low fives, like 520, 530 for it. And I bought it through like a third party. And from the label, I think it was like high fours, maybe like 480. So it was a little higher. But I pre-ordered it, and then they canceled my pre-order. Like all my friends, I had 3 other friends that pre-ordered, all got canceled. But the good thing was I would only listen to these 4, and probably the first 2, maybe the third one. I don't know why I bought Bedlam. I probably won't listen to it, just because I like the other ones way better. But so it actually, I ended up saving probably $300-400 maybe, because I didn't buy all the box, which the box would have been cool. I don't really have that many boxes. I think I got like 1 or 2. But I really wouldn't listen to any of the records besides these. And yeah, this Francis the Loud's is, I think, has probably better tracks, but it's like a full album with like, it's kind of got the in-between tracks. It's just like one big, long, flowing album. I think Francis the Mute is like the best. Mars Volta for sure. It's like such a good album. Yes, super stoked to finally have these on vinyl, and I heard that these sound better than the originals. Because I think the original, at least, I think Francis and Delau's were picture discs, and actually I could have bought Bedlam. I could have bought the original when I first started collecting. I remember seeing it at a record store, and I was like, I don't know, I don't want to touch it. And I didn't buy it, and the originals go for like a few hundred now. I don't know why I just didn't buy it. But I do like it. I mean, it's Mars Volta, so it's better than most stuff, but I always go to Delau's and Francis the Mute. So, anyways, that's just the way I roll. So yeah, that's it. I guess it wasn't that bad. Let's see, 37 minutes, pretty long. Yeah, I guess it was long. But anyways, thanks for watching, and hope you guys are all doing well. Cheers.